G'day, welcome to session 59 of my Oxygen Not Included playthrough. Thank you to those that commented on the previous video. I think the main focus there was what am I looking for in person number 12. And some good suggestions, just sort of what I want to avoid, what I should look for. Alright, so the high pressure valve vent is definitely like I'm curious about, because I assume that the way that it works, it's pushing air out. It means that actively this is going to be allowed to continue and push. But what happens to the air then? It sort of, I guess, will then just push the other air around it out, like that it won't just. I think what the normal sort of layer is going to be. It's everywhere, just sort of 3,000-ish sort of grams of. So I can see it's definitely higher there, and sort of the closer we are to it. That's right. So what we were dealing with, pipe's still blocked because that guy's overpressuring. So I don't know if I should possibly do the same thing there, or what did I decide last time? I think that possibly that this was so full of that you can see that there is like a little bit sort of moving forward into it, that it's almost blocked enough on its own that more doesn't need to be moving through it. So I don't think that's actually really a problem. We can keep an eye on how this is doing. Guess there are no fish left in here. They didn't get swallowed through it and end up in here, did they? No, good. We'll see how our water levels go with the new setups. Thank you to those as well that did point out that my massive leak last time was purely just because I got rid of pipes that were full of water. I credit that to wearing shoes that I didn't piece that obvious one together myself. Okay. Now this section here was for the natural gas that I saw this is going to be creating for me. Bit of automation there that we'll just deconstruct. Let's have a look at how we're doing down here in our consolidation. So still some work to be done. Oh, let's have a look at our new printables. Machinery, excavation, decreased excavation. That doesn't really seem too good. Decreased excavation, decreased excavation. This is a whole bunch of not very excavaty people, so let's take some coal. See, there's a bunch of natural gas has made its way up here. I wonder if that's sort of pushed down under here and then gone over the top. Again, it's sort of still outside of the where they live, so it's not too big a deal. Alright, back to down here. Now there's a little bit more on this side that I suppose we can try and consolidate down into this section. Let's go flatten that. Get through these fossils. And so we can do the same thing for this bit here. That to come down. Now look. Oh, it's May. I was gonna say it's always our girl Ellie that's there doing things like that, but not today. It's May that's first in. Find a little bit of stuff to get out of here, but it will more be that then we can claim that one too. And then that one as well. Plenty of little dig tasks down here to work on. But I suppose we are limited to the amount of suits that are available to get down here. Although there's one still available, so they're definitely not maxing out there. How are you doing there, Camille? So our athletics has gotten to 2. Yeah, one of the suggestions I did quite like. This one came from, was it Barack? That science trait is probably the best thing to go for because it will mean that they learn faster. And so if they're going to be so far behind because they're starting so much later than everyone else, much like what Camille's problem is at the moment, they will be able to learn it a bit quicker. I suppose if I've got the intentions right now of bringing in a 12th person, I can probably look at trying to bring in the 12th bedroom. What's my size that I need? There's the weird shaped bedrooms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's slightly too small there. What are you holding? Yeah, just the polluted dirt and rock pile and everything. Alright, let's copy these guys. And we'll just go 1, 2, 3 over there. Wait for them to be built, then copy the settings of these guys. Deconstruct 2 of them. Might make it quicker for them building those if they can just take the parts from the ones that are already here. It's good to see that there's still at least a... See how much oxygen ends up getting needed for this. Although I imagine it means that this guy can't be operating that much at all if he's the other end that doesn't deal in this at all. But the two of those are sharing the load, so I guess as long as one of them's continually operating, good for business. This guy's still getting a regular flow through. Move him to there. A little bit of carbon dioxide that operates in that room. Is that just because oxygen comes down this way and then just gets trapped in there? I'm sure there's too much I can do for that. Okay, we'll deconstruct that guy. What I'm going to do is that same trick of trying to push a wall back. Keeping the good oxygen on the inside of this section. Alright, so then what we can do is we can say copy settings of him. Apply it to those three, and then we can deconstruct him. How's our digging going while we're waiting for that? And push down. What we should do is just a small little job of a ladder. Say build the ladder to there. And that should chip out a few more blocks to give a bit more room for the natural gas to stay in this room as opposed to sinking out. Alright, so how are we looking down here? Oh, we've got plenty of that all sort of consolidating down to this ladder. Waiting for the pump. I think maybe what I should do is cancel that. Because what we probably want is... overheat temperature for everything's the same. But we'll go for the thing we've got 23,000 of, not the thing that we've only got 100 of. A few thousand. Loose definition of a building. That water doesn't really look like it's going down too much, so that's quite good. So water going here. Well, I mean, there's no fish or anything in this anymore, so we may as well let him take that down as low as he can. I did like the suggestion as well, also from Barack, to that increased bladder as a negative it can potentially be a positive for someone like me who just wants more polluted water. And so the idea that they're just going to the bathroom more often should be a victory. Okay. So let's dig. Not dig. Let's build tiles there. And we will deconstruct that door. Is that order of iron? Increase the efficiency of... I assume there's no use for magma in this at all, right? Nothing that's going to come up that's going to say, like, I should really get some magma. Let's, into that too. Tiny little pockets in here too. I could really want to just go crazy about it. Alright, so he's overheating. Doesn't really seem like there's too much I can do for that. Entombed. A very dramatic way of putting it there, oil refinery. Oh, I feel like I've got something wrong here. Because I've got him connected to that, but I think this is one of those points where I forget that this isn't a... so he's not connected to anything? He's not a power... Is he? He's not a... He doesn't need power, he generates power, right? No, he doesn't need power, he's a... Yeah, right, okay. Definitely made that mistake before, but no, that's definitely right there. Okay. How is this guy down here pumping? He's going to be in a constant state of getting rebuilt. But I mean, the oil itself is what's hot. He's never going to really recover from overheating here. The water around him is just going to get hotter. Crude oil up here is still that same sort of temperature. The natural gas getting pumped up there. It's actually not that far from here. Already see it's sort of escaping this way, so let's put a door there. So that should be almost the back wall. Put a door there. Or this person's going to have the cesspool outside the thing. But hopefully whomever it is will like science. And they may just be interested in having the cesspool right there. We'll also take the moment to get someone up there. Hassan was very... Hassan, sorry. Hassan was very excited about that. Look at the team effort we've got going on here. Our food has definitely taken a plummet. But is that just, I think, because I ripped up so much of it? A few of them don't like the heat. Okay, so that's the size there. That's the 5 by 1, 2, 3, and the 4 will be up. So instead, what we'll do is we'll just make that a full room. In fact, what we can probably do is put the door up here. And they can descend into their room. Sure on that one. That was my new printable. Decrease athletics. I've learnt my lesson with that. This dude loves his construction. I'll take the ice. Why not? Certainly slow going with the natural gas I mean, the gas itself, the generator itself is quite happy though. This seems like a bad system. Let me know if I'm doing this wrong, if I should be pumping this in some other means. The other thing I was thinking about that I should check is I've got that last thing still on this to learn. And I need... whatever that orange thing is. I don't remember what it was anymore. Planetarium. Virtual planetarium. I know that obviously when I last looked at this, which would have been like 40 sessions ago, it's getting a lot more natural gas up there. Quite funny. It's just that the problem is we don't have enough ability to, like, there's almost too much natural gas as opposed to what it originally seemed like there wasn't enough. This thing gets dormant for so long. That's fine. We could actually possibly almost have a second natural gas generator going because of how little gas this thing seems to operate off. But this is a dead end up here anyway, so eventually we can have a pump sit somewhere up here if it ended up being so much gas. What I might do then is I might put a door, just a normal sort of door in there, just to try and block it from traveling. Actually, no, let's cancel that. Put the door right against the edge there, so it sort of hits that and then it'll go up. And we will dig out the sort of blocks that are in its way. So we'll get a... now we might make actually this a bit more like... Stinky's room. I will swap this around. Because I think that sort of just for the oxygen flow we're probably better off having the door higher. Go a ladder down. Tiles there. Then we will put a carpeted section there. It means the bed won't be on carpet, but let's try and get all this debris out of this room too. And then in the same token, just so I don't forget, put another chair in there. It's looking good. No power. Imagine we must have fried a circuit here. There's too much on this. Oh no, we just deconstructed a wall. But I also think that must be the only thing going through there. It's been a while since I've done that. Hopefully nothing else was impacted in that. See that the only gases sort of go up and around. Fluids dip under. Okay, cool. May is so eager to get these paintings going. Yeah, happy Stinky is here. May's not. It's clinical for May. When I said copy that thing at the top, May. Here, I have finished building this little room down here, haven't I? It's, trying to dig out as much of that as we can. See that middle part we're gonna not be able to get to, so let's just build a ladder straight up there to accommodate it. Seems like this is going to be a major waste of iron ore. This is the big question I guess I've got. Is this worth it? So what am I doing with the oil once I've got it? Do I have any actual plan for that? As long as you're still pumping... Oh, cool. So I can see the bottom of you is what's sucking that up into there. So you should go pretty well until there's near nothing left. You shouldn't... Yeah, you know, risk of over flooding that. Virtual planetarium. That's something I started looking at a little while ago and then have completely spaced on. The funny thing too. What scenarios have you got where you need space heaters and things? Who's reached a problem where they're too cold? Where do we think this thing's gonna be? Same spot I just checked. Ah, still not there. That looks kind of quaint. I think somewhere that would really suit. overlook the meal wood. Supercomputer, virtual planetarium, that's what we want. That's all I need is just ore? Nah, that's not right, is it? Because that's the virtual planetarium. Data bank. Alright, what's a data bank? Data not found. Consumes data from telescopes and research modules. Telescopes. Building must be exposed to space to function. Now, does that mean that I can just expose that to... do I actually have a telescope, or is that something I need to unlock? It's not listed amongst those things. Maybe I do already have it somewhere. It should be there. Where do you live? Let's just start at the start. And you need if I could, like, say, alphabetize these or search through them. Just by typing in a name. I know exactly what I'm looking for. I just have no idea what page it would sit on. Feels insulting to think it would be furniture. It's just you don't get much use out of your telescope if that's the case. There it is, right where I started. Building must be exposed to space to function. So does that mean I can put it like here? Like, so for example, I mean, it's gonna looks like it's gonna let me put it anywhere where it would fit. But I assume it has to be this much exposed to space, as opposed to, say, in this gap here, exposed to space. Or is that something that we can probably just test? You don't have to look up, you could look sideways, because I can see over there's a whole bunch of space. Well, let's dig a little bit of this, but I would imagine that before I place that, that answer will come to me. Hopefully via some comments. That's a question for the next one. Does that telescope have to be up here somewhere and then protected by stuff, or can it actually be buried like under some granite, just being exposed to... I mean, that says space exposure, so I think that's arguably correct, at least. Move that door back here and get another Atmos suit in this. I do like now that this section up here is clear of the carbon dioxide, and it is now just in this section down here. That looks so much nicer. Also done a good job of sort of capturing all that natural gas into a small area. I'm actually, like, since that says space exposure, I'm more confident I actually am getting this right. roof doesn't collapse on it. Right there. Is that acceptable? Look, I can even see like a planet over there. Moving through the sky. Some nice cool water in here. This would be some nice water to swim in. Maybe I've put my, the fact that she's sitting there makes me feel like these chairs could be worth something if they're going to happily just sort of relax. Let's put one down on the literal beach above the water. And with that evening, we come to the end of another session. Thanks for watching. Any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. Obviously, the big thing, I mean, I can obviously correct it before I finish it at the start of the next level. Is this a good spot for a telescope? Am I correct in thinking that it is actually safe, or it is fine to build it underneath where it is? Or do I actually have to expose it to meteors? It does feel like it's a lot cheaper than the meteors around it. The other major question is, am I doing the oil right? It doesn't feel like if oil is permanently going to be 85 degrees, I should be putting a 75-degree limit pump submerged in it. So let me know. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.